couldn't think of a good way to start this episode.
Mr. Potato Head, the fun toy you can mix and match for some silly results. You can get him in different variations, like Mr. Potato Head, Mrs. Potato Head, Baby Potato Head, Spider-Man Potato Head, and the Predator Potato Head. Because all the little kids love the Predator, especially when he skins people. The Mr. Potato Head toy was created in 1949 by George Lerner and was distributed by Hasbro. The toy itself actually started as a real-life potato, but was changed to plastic years later for obvious reasons. But since then, Mr. Potato Head has become kind of a cultural icon over the years, with his most notable appearance being in the Toy Story franchise.
But we ain't talking about Toy Story, oh no. We're gonna be talking about a show that hasn't been seen since the 90s. That should be an obvious red flag.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Mr. Potato Head Show. Lord, what is this? This thing was created in 1999 by Dan Clark and Doug Langdale, with puppets created by the Chiodo brothers, who were responsible for the designs of the Critters in the Critters franchise, and actually had their hand in the stop-motion animation in the movie Elf.
And mercilessly tortured with tiny vicious weasels which are set loose to feast upon the soft flesh of your underbelly. Or not.
Yeah, this leans more towards Critters. The show itself lasted for 13 episodes before getting completely cancelled. No VHS, no DVD, not even Laserdisc, nothing. Yes, indeedly. This is Lost Media, and has stayed that way until 2016 when Lost Media Wiki decided to unearth this thing once more. Now you can watch it on YouTube thanks to the user Hotkins stuff for all the world to see.
But was it worth the effort of digging up? Well, that's gonna be something we're gonna have to figure out, because we're gonna take a look at the Mr. Potato Head Show. Please send help.
The show stars the titular Mr. Potato Head and his friends, as they create their own show in their own commercial studio. And what is their show about? Goddamn whatever. Sometimes it's a superhero show, sometimes it's a kids programming, sometimes it's a sci-fi, sometimes it's something else. This is because the crew will always do whatever these executive guys tell them to do, which, by the way, gotta mention this, they are constantly eating french fries right in front of Mr. Potato Head. Dude, I don't know what to say, man. These guys are eating their own people. You should be very concerned. The episodes usually consist of these show segments spliced together with scenes of the crew messing around on and off the set. It usually ranges from stuff like Mr. Potato Head trying to find a spy who's been stealing his script for a rival creator, to summoning things like, Jesus Christ, what is that? Yeah, this show gets weird, like, what were these guys on when they decided to make all this type weird? And where can I get some? And this weirdness stems from the characters themselves, like Mr. Potato Head, who sounds like he's trying to do a Rick Sanchez impression before Rick and Morty was even a thing.
A little deadly poison never hurt nobody. Yeah, we'll just keep the door closed. And we'll shoot in here.
Also, they gave him lips. Why did they give him human lips? I do not like his lips. Then you have Queen Sweet Potato, who looks like a desperate housewife. Okay, but why? I mean, seriously, who even is this? Who dis? Where's Mrs. Potato Head? Why are we stuck with something that looks uncomfortably greasy? Next we have Baloney. Sometimes his mouth moves, sometimes it doesn't, even when he's talking. It's weird, let's move on. Potato Bug is probably the only character I like on this show. She's practically the funny man in every scenario, and her design does not spark my fight or flight senses. Unlike, say, this guy, cause yep, that's definitely my sleep paralysis demon. And this guy is even worse. Then we have Eldritch Deity, always a pleasure to have. And oh god, what are you?
I'm so proud I could just...
Spooge.
Alright, why are they ugly? Who in the right mind thought these were okay? These puppets range from uncanny to nightmare. And this is a show made for children! I mean, this looks like something MTV would slap out of its own programming, but nope. This was Fox TV. Same people who brought you the Animaniacs and Power Rangers brought you this.
Don't hurt me!
This was made for kids.
Sonny Jim.
But out of everything that complexes me about this show, the one thing that truly confuses me is why is this so tamed? Because even though the show has jokes like,
We shall all be slain!
alright, we get it, can you stop? The tone of the show itself is very Saturday morning cartoon. It has silly slapstick, middle to lowbrow humor,
Please don't say bosom. Makes me uncomfortable.
and sometimes a moral at the end. Which I just can't get around with puppets that look like this. I don't expect these guys to learn any morals. I expect them to say every single swear word in the English language while farting into bottles. It just makes me wonder why they chose to make them look like rejected Jeff Dunham puppets. Why couldn't they do something similar to the Muppets or what they did in Elf? Why choose to make these abominations? Because these aren't fun for kids. They're therapy material.
So that begs the question, who is this made for? Who is this made for? The puppets are too creepy to be made for children, but the tone is too childish to be made for adults, so why was this made? Why was this made? The logical answer was that it was the 90s.
The 90s were a time where people just got very creative, and their creativity was, very questionable, but they were very passionate about what they made, and this show is no different. Because with all the times I have been ridiculing these puppet designs, it's very hard not to see that there was love and care put into them. Hell, it's not just the designs, the entire show has a lot of passion put behind it. While watching these behind-the-scene clips that I found online, I could truly say that the cast and crew were having a lot of fun, and, well, that's very admirable. You could tell that they put a lot of time, effort, and just overall love into this, with seemingly not a lot of intervene from the higher-ups. And in the end, the result was...
I've been found out! Curse you, Mr. Potato Head! You have foiled our plan to conquer your insignificant planet!
Well, if it's so insignificant, why do you want to conquer it?
That's a really good point.
There was an attempt.
Am I sad that this show got canceled?
God, no!
But I'm glad that it's not lost media anymore. Mainly for the sole reason of just having it exist, and it just being weird. With its characters and design clashing with its tone, it's just a product of the 90s. And you know what? It's always fun just to look at 90s stuff and just go, what the hell were they thinking? And if I had to change anything about this show, I'd make it for adults. Cause let's be real, I would pay actual good money to see these characters say every single swear word while farting into bottles. But as it stands, it's just another 90s kids show that was weird, strange, and very inappropriate. I mean, tell me this isn't what I think it is. Tell me this isn't what I think it is, and I would say you'd be lying, sir.
I wonder if YouTube's gonna have a bust for all the whipped cream jokes I've been making. Well, let's just push the envelope harder and see what happens! This was a show for children!